Hello students, in the last class we discussed about half wave rectifier. So I explained you regarding construction with the help of circuit diagram and the working of half wave rectifier. So today we shall compare the input and output waveforms. Okay? Now look at the circuit diagram. Here the input voltage is a sinusoidal voltage which is represented in the graph like this, input voltage. This is the positive half cycle, negative half cycle, positive half cycle, negative half cycle. So this continues. So after half the time period, the direction of the voltage is changing. So this is an alternating voltage. Now look at the output. As the current flows during the positive half cycle, load current, so you can take the load current like this, IL is the load current which is flowing through the load resistance. So there will be voltage drop across the load because voltage V equal to IR, so this is the voltage drop. Now we find that during the positive half cycle, this point A, this point B, so diode was conducting, and during the negative half cycle, the diode was not conducting. So load current IL flows only for positive half cycle and does not flow during the negative half cycle of input AC. This is the input AC. So current is flowing from, look at this graph. This one is the graph, voltage graph for input voltage, and this is the voltage time graph for output voltage. This one output voltage, this one input voltage. Now during the positive half cycle we are getting output voltage. During the negative half cycle of input we are not getting any output. This is blank. Again we are getting output for the positive half and no output for the negative half. So this shows that the half wave rectifier is rectifying only the positive half cycles of input AC. It is only rectifying the positive half cycles of input AC. It is not rectifying the negative half cycles. So as it is rectifying half of the input voltage, half cycle is rectified, therefore its name is the half wave rectifier. Now you compare the output frequency with respect to input frequency. This is the time taken for input to complete one cycle 0 to t. So when input is completing one cycle, output is also completing one cycle. This is the cycle for output, because what is cycle? The pattern which is repeated again and again in this graph, that is the cycle. Okay, so for input wave, this is the cycle. When input is completing one cycle, output is also completing one cycle. So we can say that the frequency of output voltage is same as the frequency of input AC voltage. The frequency of output DC voltage is same as the frequency of input AC voltage. Now let us study this performance of this rectifier circuit. How effectively the half wave rectifier is rectifying the AC voltage applied to its input. Okay? So I told you that we can study the performance of a rectifier by help of two parameters, that is efficiency and ripple factor. So let us calculate these two for this half wave rectifier. Efficiency, the first performance of half wave rectifier. Number one is efficiency, denoted by the symbol eta. I have already explained you that efficiency eta is the ratio between output DC power, so PDC out by input AC power, so PAC in. So look here, we are getting DC power at the output of the rectifier and we have given AC power to the input. So efficiency eta is the ratio between output DC power to input AC power. So we write like this, PDC out by PAC in. Efficiency eta, you can also write here, eta is equal to ratio between output DC power to the input AC power. So symbolically we write like this. Now for half wave rectifier circuit we can prove that, eta HWR equal to 0.406 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. Now look at this formula. This formula we can derive, derivation not required for your CHSE syllabus. Now we have to discuss qualitatively. So eta HWR equal to 0.406 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. Now what is RF? Here RF means it is the forward resistance of the diode. Forward resistance of the diode D. So diode D, junction diode, PN junction diode. So the resistance offered by this junction diode to the current under forward biasing condition is known as forward resistance. And what is RL? RL is the load resistance. RL is the load resistance, means the resistance which we have connected along with the diode to get the output. So this is the formula. Now if we assume that the diode D is ideal one, so for an ideal diode, as RF equal to 0, eta HWR is the maximum, because when RF will be equal to 0, the denominator will be minimum, so eta will be maximum. Hence, by taking an ideal diode, the maximum theoretical efficiency eta HWR, maximum theoretical efficiency, we write like this, is equal to 1 plus 0.406. So put RF equal to 0. So if you put 0 here, 0 divided by RL equal to 0. So 1 plus 0 equal to 0. Therefore, we get 0.406. And if you express this in percentage, that is equal to 40.6%. Now you look at this efficiency, which is less than 50%. See, no doubt this diode is rectifying the positive half cycles of input AC, but its efficiency less than 50%, half, okay. So only 40.6%, and that too, this is the theoretical value, but practical diodes are not ideal. So practical diodes will have efficiency less than this value. That means the half wave rectifier is not rectifying properly. It's ineffective in rectifying the AC to DC. We can also discuss its ripple factor. So next is the ripple factor. Now look at the ripple factor. As we have defined that ripple factor is the ratio between AC components at the output. So output AC components by output DC components. So as I told you that always some AC components are available at the output of a rectifier circuit, and these AC components available at the output of rectifier are known as ripples. So these ripples, so how much ripple factor, so that is to be decided. Now ripple factor of a rectifier is the ratio between output AC components to the output DC components. Now for half wave rectifier, gamma HWR equal to 1.21. Gamma HWR equal to 1.21 means this is gamma HWR is greater than 1, means IAC output is greater than IDC output, which means we are getting more AC components than DC components are the output of the half wave rectifier circuit. But what was our aim of using rectifier? Means we want more DC components at the output, but what we find that we are getting more AC components than DC components at the output of the half wave rectifier circuit. So from these two parameters, that is your efficiency eta HWR, that is the maximum theoretical efficiency, is 40.6%, which is less than 50%, and the ripple factor for half wave rectifier gamma, so that is equal to 1.21, which is greater than 1. So we find that the half wave rectifier is very ineffective in rectifying AC to DC. So to overcome these difficulties, we need a full wave rectifier. So we are going to discuss next full wave rectifier. So now students, let us discuss about the full wave rectifier. As I told you, a full wave rectifier is that rectifier which rectifies the full cycle of input AC to DC. Full cycle of AC to DC, so that is called full wave rectifier. So we are now going to discuss PN junction diode as a full wave rectifier. Now full wave rectifier is of two types. I write as FWR, abbreviation for full wave rectifier. It is of two types, that is center tapped full wave rectifier and bridge type full wave rectifier. Now as per your council syllabus, we shall discuss about the center tapped full wave rectifier. Center tapped full wave rectifier. Now what is a center tapped full wave rectifier? It is a full wave rectifier in which the load resistance is connected to the center position. The load resistance is connected to the center position of the secondary winding of the transformer. Now you can see the circuit diagram of a center tapped full wave rectifier. Circuit diagram. Okay, look at this circuit diagram. In this circuit diagram, we have used two identical PN junction diodes. So D1 and D2 are two identical PN junction diodes. So this is the transformer TR having primary winding P and secondary winding S. So this is the primary winding, this is the secondary winding. The AC to be rectified, is applied to the primary winding, okay, and we have connected the load resistance RL to the center position C of the secondary winding of the transformer. This is the secondary winding of transformer TR. So C is the center position and the load resistance RL is connected to the center position of secondary winding. So its name is center tapped full wave rectifier. Okay, clear? So load resistance is connected to the center position C of the secondary winding of the transformer TR. So this is the circuit diagram. In this circuit diagram, D1 and D2 are two identical PN junction diodes. TR is the transformer. It is usually a step down transformer. The AC to be rectified is applied to the primary winding of the transformer. The load resistance RL is connected to the center position C of the secondary winding of the transformer. So its name is center tapped full wave rectifier. Now let us see how this rectifier circuit works. So working of center tapped full wave rectifier working. When AC is applied to the primary winding, the AC also appears across the secondary winding of the transformer, because transformer simply steps up or steps down the AC. So we get AC both at the primary and secondary winding of the transformer. So here the AC which is to be rectified, when applied to the primary of the transformer, it appears across the secondary winding of the transformer. So due to this, the polarity of the 2 points A and B, changes after every half cycle. Now let us assume that initially during the positive half cycle of input AC, suppose A point is positive and B point is negative. So as point A is positive, so the P material of diode D1 is forward biased. That is positive. So diode D1 is forward biased. And now look here, the P material of diode D2 is negative. So it is a reverse biased. So diode D1 is forward biased and diode D2 is a reverse biased during positive half cycle of input AC. As a result, diode D1 conducts. Only this diode will conduct, but D2 will not conduct. So during positive half cycle of input AC, diode D1 conducts. Only this diode conducts, and D2 does not conduct. Diode D2 does not conduct. As diode D1 conducts, so the current flows through the load resistance RL in this direction, in the load current IL1, because this current is due to the diode D1 only. So the load current flows in this direction, that is in the clockwise sense in the upper half of the circuit. Now, during the next half cycle, that is negative half cycle. So, during negative half cycle of input AC, what happens? Automatically, point A becomes negative and B becomes positive. A becomes negative and B becomes positive. And when B becomes positive, P material of D2 is positive, but P material of D1 is negative during the negative half cycle. As a result, only diode D2 is forward biased and D1 is reverse biased. So D2 is forward biased, so it will conduct current, but D1, as it is reverse biased, it will not conduct current. So current flows in the lower half of the circuit in this direction due to the diode 2. So I mark as IL2. What is IL1? It is a lower current due to diode 1. And what is IL2? Lower current due to diode 2. Now look here, the load current IL2 flows in the anti-clockwise sense in the lower half of the circuit, while load current IL1 flows in the clockwise sense in the upper half of the circuit. So this current flows during the positive half cycle of input AC, and this current flows during the negative half cycle of input AC. So you can now write that during negative half cycle, diode D2 conducts, diode D1 does not conduct. Okay. Now during both half cycles, the current through the load resistance is from O to C, that is in one direction. So we can say that a unidirectional current, that is DC current, is flowing through the load resistance RL. So DC current flows. But what you find that during the positive half cycle of input AC, one diode is conducting. During the negative half cycle of AC, the other diode is conducting. That means during half cycle, only one diode conducts. So both the diodes periodically, repeatedly, they alternately, they conduct during positive and negative half cycle. Here next half cycle will come, positive half cycle will come, D1 will conduct. In the negative half cycle, D2 will conduct. So this process is repeated again and again. So due to the conduction of the two diodes in the alternate half cycles, we find that the load current flows during both half cycles of input AC, or we can say that the rectifier circuit is able to rectify both half cycles or full cycle of input AC. Hence its name is the full wave rectifier. Now look at the input and output waveforms. Input and output waveforms. So we have to compare. Now this is the output waveform. So look students, we are now going to compare the input and output waveforms. As I told you, the input waveform is sinusoidal and we can represent by the equation like this: V in equal to V naught sin omega t. This is the mathematical expression for input waveform, which is a sinusoidal voltage. This is the positive half cycle and this is the negative half cycle, positive half cycle, negative half cycle, positive half cycle and negative half cycle of input voltage. During the positive half cycle, we have seen that the diode D1 is conducting and the load current flows due to the diode D1. So output voltage is obtained due to diode D1. During the negative half cycle, the output voltage is due to diode D2. Again during the positive half cycle, diode D1 and next in the negative half cycle D2. That means both the diodes are working alternately. So you see that the positive half cycle is rectified by diode D1 and negative half cycle is rectified by diode D2. So we are able to rectify the full cycle of AC, by taking help of two junction diodes. Hence the rectifier circuit is named as full wave rectifier. Now you compare the frequencies of input voltage and output voltage. Let F be the frequency of input voltage. F is the frequency of input voltage. Then what is the frequency of output voltage? Look here. When input is completing one cycle, the output is completing two cycles, because this is one cycle. From here to here, one cycle. From here to here, another cycle. The time during which input is completing one cycle, output is completing two cycles. Therefore, the frequency of output voltage is 2 times the frequency of input voltage, where F is the frequency of input voltage. F is the frequency of input voltage. So in my next class I shall explain you its efficiency and ripple factor.